My first video part technically was Logic number 6, which was a video magazine. And at that time, content wasn't like it is now. There wasn't a lot of it. So basically the company still put out videos, and then there were video magazines where the big one was 4-in-1, and it was basically a VHS video, maybe every other month. It was either every month or every other month. And that was the only way you could see what was currently going on. So it went like 4-in-1, which was the big one. There was digital, maybe like that was down here. And then there was like Logic and a couple other ones that were they were smaller. The first major video part I had was the City Stars video, but technically it was Logic 6. So this is how it all happened. The filmer from our neighborhood, Steve Ireland, who made my Sponsor Me tape, submitted footage to Logic, so that whatever. And Heath Brinkley was doing Logic at the time. So Steve sent him clips of me for Logic, and he saw him and he was like, hey, does he have more footage? And Steve sent him my Sponsor Me tape. And he saw my Sponsor Me tape and he was like, well, let's just film a part. So then I filmed a part with Logic, and then Heath ended up leaving Logic and working for City Stars. And so I already filmed a part with Heath, so then that's what ended up leading me to ride for City Stars. And then I filmed my next part with Heath. The coolest thing about City Stars was, like, everyone I grew up skating with ended up being on City Stars. It was really kind of crazy. It was kind of like our everyday crew were on the same team. It was so like weird how it happened, but it was so amazing. It was almost like we were just still doing the same thing we were doing as kids, just the footage ended up in a video. It was really it was like a really unique but really cool way it turned out. So there's a spot that I'm skating here. I did a nollie flip nose slide. It's like a little out ledge off 3 stair in like El Cajon or something. It's a super famous spot, right? So that night, it's probably 1, 2 in the morning. We're skating, all of a sudden cops come, but it's not like the usual kick out, right? There's maybe 12 cops, all guns are out, right? So we're skating, their guns are out, make us get on the floor. And like at this point, like when that first happens, like you think you'd kind of be scared, but like we were like laughing about it. I don't know if we were just like young and naive, but I remember we were like, dude, kind of fucking with the cops, right? We're like, dude, really? You have guns, really? Probably the worst thing to do, but. So they basically pick us all up, we're sitting on the curb, they run through everybody's information and they call me up. And they're like, so do you have anything to tell us? And I was like, no. And they're like, nothing with the liquor store? I was like, no. And they were like, well, we ran your name and you're a fugitive on the run for armed robbery, right, at a 7-Eleven. And I was like, yeah, totally. And he was like, we're gonna have to take you in. They turn around, and I was like, what? And they like turn around, handcuff me, and I'm like, realize they're serious? I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I did not rob a liquor store, right? I'm 18 at this point. And they're like, well, you know, it's showing here that you did. And they're like, is your name Michael Taylor, born August 29th, the whole 9. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, dude, if you knew where I'm from, like the suburbs, like the neighborhoods in the movies, that's like the suburbs I'm from. I definitely didn't rob a liquor store. I have no clue what you're talking about. Can you please call my parents? And he's like, no, we can call them when you're in jail. You can use your call to call them. Right? I'm flipping out, right? So I'm like, and my brother's with me. I'm like, Matt, dude, you need to call our parents. Like, I'm stressing. I'm handcuffed. He's walking me away. And I'm like, officer, can you please just check one more time? Like, please. This is not me. I swear I didn't do this. And he was basically like irritated. Like, you know what? I'll try one more time, but it's going to be a waste of my time, but I'll do it just to prove you wrong. So I'm like, he's doing it on the walkie-talkie and I'm listening to him and he's like, Michael Allen Taylor. And she's like, yes. August 29th, 1982 is the birth date. And she's like, yeah, no. August 29th, 1983. And I was like, see? And he's like, confirming, August 29th, 1982. She's like, no, negative, whatever. Yes, right? I'm so excited. I'm like, thank you, God. And he basically looks at me, takes me out of the handcuffs and goes, you lucked out this time. And I'm like, I lucked out this time. there was one point where I was like, felt like I was gonna cry. That was probably it.